137 wells have been drilled so far. We began our 18th year for Partners for Africa last month. And so to see how that has made the difference, 37 new congregational plants have come from drilling those water wells. Now, you know that we don't drill water wells just at random. There's a purpose to it. We want them to, our goal is for them to know living water, and to be able to do that, wells are drilled strategically, either where we already have planted a church or where we are planning to plant a church. And so for that reason, a lot of good things happen. We drilled a well, and some of the results you get back later in years, I mean, you drill the water well, people come and drink from that well, vegetables are planted, and so you've changed life expectancy immediately, especially in the rural areas where life expectancy is in the mid-30s. You get them clean water, and they can now grow vegetables, and that's so weird to us because, mid-30s, we just getting started. But when you get rid of all those waterborne diseases, then you give them a new lease on life. But in Kera 9, Church of Christ was established about 16 years ago. It was one of the congregations we helped plant. And so we drilled a well there. And people from the community have come and they've enjoyed from the well the water. They've grown vegetables with our brothers and sisters on the property. Some of them have been added to the body of Christ. But in the area, the government doesn't have much water. What I mean is, during the last 3 years of drought, those communities, let me just tell you, rain comes, if it's a good rainy season, it'll come, the end of October, but it ends in March, and then it's done. Now, if it's not a good rainy season, you're not gonna have much water left over, and the government dams didn't fill up. And so when you get down to May, June, July, those communities, they are having water coming to those communities once every 5 days. I mean, it's just beyond us. I mean, we just can't imagine that. So we drilled this well, up to over 1,000 people a day coming and getting water with their buckets, But because we had reliable water, the government let us build a school there. Now, we already have a high school, but because of that well, we've been able to open up another Christian high school because it has reliable water. So just some of the benefits of our good works. Currently, we're feeding about 2,500 children a week, feeding them, sending most of them to school. And so you get these little kids, they're 5, 6 years old. Now we end our feeding program once they graduate from high school. But here they come, and so every time we feed them, we feed them food, physical food, but then also spiritual food. And so inevitably, as the years go by, 12, 13, 14, they're coming to our Sunday schools, they obeying the gospel. Well, you get some wonderful stories, and I think most of those stories we're going to realize when we're in heaven one day, but every now and again you get something that just happens. 3 boys started coming, they were orphans, 10, 11 years ago. And we fed them, and they grew and they developed, and they are a vital part of the Nkulamani Church of Christ now as far as the youth program is concerned. They're now 20, 21, 19, around there. Emmanuel is one of the orphans that came there, and he did so well at school. I said to him, he just took advantage of it, and now he's been accepted into medical school. Now, So here's this little orphan that comes, but we have this complex out there about 50 miles outside of the city that has this high school, the first thing we did was build a clinic. So now we're looking at building a surgery there as well. Well, here comes this little orphan. God, I mean, it just blows our minds. Here comes this little orphan. We send him to medical school. Now he's going to come back and be one of the doctors there. It's just amazing. And when I tell you these stories, I want you to know that you all are a part of this. Okay, and we are so thankful that you are. We just as you know, our oldest son Lee, he works with us full time, and now Tristan has come on board also. So people have said to me in years gone by, the most recent years, have said to me, well, Dorian, you're getting on in years, which I don't appreciate, you know. But anyway, so what about Partners for Africa if the Lord tarries? And so God has provided that, you know. So we're thankful for the generations that are going to help as well. But our son Lee is head of our ACT program, and so because of that, he is. It's really helped our outreach. So we've got the feeding program, got the water program, and the ACT program, and we've just shipped several containers within the last year and a half. Things have gone back to normal since, post-COVID now. So really thankful about that. We just shipped a container to our school in Zimbabwe. The reason I want to tell you about that is because this school. Thanks.
That'll advance them.
Oh, watch out, man. Sorry. Thank you for your persistence, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Okay. Man, I really appreciate that. That's diligence right there. So let me just, okay. Okay, so I have to tell you this a little bit, yeah, because I want some of you to come with us, okay? And if you come to Africa, you've got to go on some sort of mini safari, you know? So we found a new place. There's this family, third generation, got this citrus farm, okay? And now when I say citrus farm, I mean they've got 1,000 acres of orange trees. And they're about to bring another 1,000 acres on. Now, the problem is they're in a wildlife area. So baboons love oranges, but who else loves oranges is elephants. And you don't go to a herd of elephants and go shoo, shoo, you know? It just doesn't work, you know? So Tristan and I, a few months ago, we went to go check this out. And what happened was they have their grade A oranges they pick every day. Now, how do you get rid of the elephants and the baboons? Well, on their it's a massive ranch they have, a massive place. They've got a small canyon. And so all the grade B on down oranges, they put into these wagons and they go take them to the canyon and dump them there. Well, now the elephants, they go there now. The baboons go there. When you get there 3 p.m, you can watch the baboons starting, you know. And what happens is you can go spend the night there. You can sit above the canyon. And while you eat, you can watch the elephant eat. and I mean, they're 200-300 elephants just coming and going. It absolutely blows your mind. So I hope that's a big enough hook, by the way, to get you all to come. So this is our team. And when I say that, Sherry's had a little problem with her back, so she's resting it because we leave next month. And then our son Lee to my right, and then there is his son Boston, and then of course Tristan and Dakota. And that was us all this summer. And we're so thankful for the help that they all give in their special ways. So this is our Mom Project, 2,500 orphans. You can see the countries where we're feeding. By the way, we kept 800 families alive this past year. And we used some of the funds that you gave us, by the way. 800 Christian families that were not only just Christian families, but families and friends that had no food. And I'm telling you, would have died if we didn't give them at least one meal a day, because they were down to about 3 meals and no food, you know? So anyway, so that's some of the feeding we're doing. It's just amazing. This is special. because these are some of the kids, okay, and we sponsoring them. So school's about to begin in January because their school year is January to December. And so they get their notebooks from us, they get their pencils, and they get a bar of soap. And that bar of soap washes their clothes, washes their body, and washes their dishes. And the parents are so happy to see that soap, you know. The pictures that you see there, they don't have the phones we have. And they can't take pictures like we can. But I just want you to know, this is some of the people that we've kept alive this past year. And it's just because we haven't got a well there yet, but we will. The lady at the back, when you see those ladies, she has a baby on her back and she has a 22.2 pounds on her head. And she's going to walk about 3 miles back home. And she is so happy. And that bag of meal will provide food, a meal a day for a month. So we're thankful for that. This is Tristan. This is unloading. The reason I want to show you this is, well, I want you to see what Tristan does, and it's so nice because I don't have to do that anymore because I've got a younger generation. You know, he's got a stronger back now. But when we drove up with that truck, this is in Zambia, by the way. The others was in Zimbabwe. Some of those people hadn't had a meal for 2 or 3 days, and nobody rushed the truck. They all sat there because Southern Africa, especially Zimbabwe, Zambia, Lesotho, their family structure is still solid. Integrity, respect for the elderly, and they only when their names were called did they come get their food. And I'm thankful that they have that. It's a blessing to them. Anyway, that's cornmeal, the big white that might look like mashed potatoes, and she got chicken, and she got some greens, and that greens it would be equivalent. It's called chamalia, and it's equivalent to our kale. Remember the boys I was talking about? There they are. That's when they first came to us. And Emmanuel has a black T-shirt on. He's the guy that's qualified to medical school, and he heads to medical school in June. So we're thankful. Zimbabwe, that's our wells. I've talked about that. That well has been there 14 years. Over 350 people have been immersed into Christ in that well. So 116 wells in 17 years, 420 people receive water. It's higher than that now. I just got a recent stat. But anyway, it gives you an idea. 34 congregations, 4 new wells planned for 2025. And we've already done one well this year already. Okay. This is it doesn't look really great, but I want you to know that's a very special well because it's a solar powered well. A distance from the school, there's some gold mines. And when they start digging these new mines, the water starts rushing into some of those shafts. And they approached us and they said, "Is there any way that you could use this water?" I think so. And so we put it right down into those mine shafts, and we get water from them. And we've got a 35,000 gallon container there at our school campus. And we pump with that solar power, we pump 1 mile to that tank. And then that tank distributes all around. That's another well we just finished. And we're thankful that solar has come down enough where a lot of the elderly ladies, especially in the rural areas that have arthritis and suffering, that pumping sometimes with the pump is very hard. So that pumps the water up into the tank and then provides a faucet where they can just turn on the water. One well we just finished in Zambia. And we just finished at a school in Zambia as well. They were so happy. You know what that does? It gives you an opportunity to go and share the gospel because, you know, if you went up to the school and you said, this is government schools, and you said, could we begin a Bible class with not a chat, you drill a well? Come on. And so now, not only have we planted a new church on that campus, but now we teach the kids once a week. And so that's one final one we finished. So this is the ACT project, 45 container ships, 7 countries have benefited from this ministry. And so a lot of good work's been done. This is one that just arrived in Swaziland about 3 months ago. And this was, no, so this is them celebrating distribution. And that's my son Lee. That's that loading that container that I just talked about, desks and chairs that I was getting to. So there was a lady at the Huntington Church of Christ who was connected with the Huntington High School, and they had replaced all their furniture. And so we got all their desks. And if you'll notice on the right there, they gave us those boxes, except they all have smart boards. So here's our rural high school, in Zimbabwe, and they are brand new. We are so excited. So that is about to arrive, I think, next week. Well, it's supposed to arrive. So this is our school, and I'm going to turn it over to Tristan. Oh.
All right, awesome. Just throw this up on that. Hey, again, thank y'all for having us. It's great to be here. But to kind of just continue the show, this is our school, Amazon Christian Academy. One of the things that is kind of cool to me now, reflecting back on it, is you'll notice that you see the two crosses, the lion's head, and then the other two crosses. And when my brother was probably, around 10 years old, we were just starting the school up, and we were thinking, what could we do for like our name? What could we do for an icon, kind of like something that people could see and know the school by? And he came up by using the crosses as the A's and the lion as the C. And that's just always cool to kind of remind me of that. But, it's a button. All right, bottom. Sweet. But this is, along those lines, this is our philosophy for, okay, there we go. All right, cool. But this is the philosophy for, our staff, our students, and everyone who's out at the school. But, we really do want to prepare these students for life globally and eternally. And, we want that as well for our staff and anyone who comes to the school and is in these environments. But this is our school. These are 3 of our classroom wings. I know that this church has helped out, especially with this classroom wing, and we thank y'all so much for that, because with this classroom wing, it's been very, very cool and special what has come from this, not just that we have another classroom wing, but the opportunity that we have inside this classroom wing. As you can see on top of the classroom wing, we have these satellite panels, and we use these satellite panels for our computer lab. And, computer lab to us in the States is like, well, of course you have a computer lab at a high school. They got to know how to operate computers. But when you go out to the bush in Africa, and these kids are living in mud huts, when they come to school, they basically get to time travel to a different time, a different place. Because, at home, they don't even have running water, but then they get to come to school and have access to the World Wide Web. This is actually the first day our students got opportunity to get on the computers and just kind of play around and learn how to use them. But what's also awesome about this is with being in a third world country and job opportunities are low, the more access you can give them to things like technology, and the more things you can just educate them on, the more opportunity they have to get a job. And if they can, they can get a job, they can sustain themselves, well, that provides more opportunity to share the gospel. This is one of my favorite buildings. This is our athletic building. This is one of the main reasons why I'm really excited about this. But recently, last time we were there, before we left, we got our weights into the school. And Of course, our main focus is education for living and going on to their career, and also educating them spiritually and helping them grow in that aspect. But with having a high school and having sports, we want to be the best at everything we do. So in order to get that, if you want to be a successful sports team and you want to be able to push these kids to the next level, not just mentally, but also physically, you give them this. And since being malnourished and living in the bush, they're not as strong or as built as a lot of these kids in these areas, but giving them these weights and being able to feed them every day at the school, this gives them, this really, really helps their health overall, just sustaining that and building their bodies. So this is really, really great. This is actually the man in the red tie, I believe, is a government official from Zimbabwe. And they had been hearing about our school and they wanted to see what it was about. And so he came out to our school and he saw our weights and was amazed that a school in the bush that doesn't have, because when you drive out there, it's like bumpy, one-lane road. You got to drive through the dirt to get out to the school. And he was amazed that we had these kind of tools. And he was just astounded, and he was so happy for these students and for these kids and for the opportunities they're given. Because this land that the school built on was given to us by the government, and they love to see this positive effect. So this builds our relationship even more with the government, who could potentially give us more land for more opportunities, which is great. We are working on our 5th classroom wing. So this is them kind of digging up that area to get ready to lay down the foundation. And these are just some of the pictures from the progress that's been going on with that. Granddad actually showed me, and we're just about done with this classroom wing. So this is really, really awesome. One of the cool things about our school is, and this is going to sound odd, but one of the things that really intrigued me about our students, for the first year, none of our students got baptized. None of our students just completely converted to what they were, because they didn't know who we were. They didn't know why we did what we did. They were kind of hesitant. But after studying and learning and taking the time to see what really this Christianity thing is, what these people are really teaching us, what this commitment really is, after about a year, we started seeing students, they wanted to become Christian. They want to see what that's like. And now it's a regular occurrence for us, which is awesome, because, but it's not because someone told them that, hey, you should just do it. But these kids, they studied for themselves and they learned this material, and then they chose themselves to make this decision. And one of the things that's awesome about our school is that just as we have the school there, we also have a church planted on our campus. So we have both, which is great, which this is the preacher of that church. So we have hands-on preachers and ministers who can help with these kids and guide them in these through their spiritual walk, which is just great. And, we have them for moments like these. Let's see. There we go. But this is them baptizing another kid, which is awesome. And so, yeah, it's crazy to think we've had the school for this long, but this is our first graduating class. Yeah, so this is really exciting for us. It's mind-blowing to me, because it was just yesterday that I remember Granddad being like, hey, I think government gave us land, and I think we're going to try to build a school. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't think much of it, but now we have our first graduating class, so this is really, really cool. These are some of the kids in the school, I believe, in Tanzania. In Keta 9. Okay. Awesome. And then, yeah, so this is one of the newest schools that we're now getting to work with. It's again really great to see that, to see kind of how God works, and how when he taught us, to live by what we believe, it can it opens doors that it wouldn't have otherwise. And, kind of what goes around comes around. And because we have planted wells, and we've fed orphans, and we've stepped out and we've done these good works, schools like these are giving us opportunity to come in and teach the gospel and help these people out in a way that we couldn't have had we not done those good works. So it's just amazing the opportunities you're given if you really just lean into what you believe. But this is one of the wells we have out at that school, and this is just this is a fruit of the work that we're doing. We've done this good work, and now we're getting this opportunity to prepare these students. 1,162 people baptized into Christ last year. And this is amazing. We're over 100 churches planted since the beginning of our work, and God has immensely blessed us and in this work that we all do together. But you don't get those numbers, you don't get those results unless you live as if you believe that what Jesus said is true. Like, unless you go out into the world and you treat your life as you everything that Jesus said, in the way that you live, in the way that you act, in the way that you walk, in the way that you talk, when you do those things, it opens up doors, and then you see stuff like this. You have to do these good works. You have to put this out there. And when you do that, that's when people are inclined to listen to you. So this is a fruit of that. And I love that we're able to do that. But you got to start somewhere. So, again, thank y'all for giving us this time in class. I know we kind of had some technical difficulties, but still, I appreciate y'all working with us, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. So, thank y'all. Yeah.
Thank you. We're dismissed for class. Reminder, there's some coffee downstairs. Okay, some coffee downstairs. So we've got a few minutes to break. So thank you very much.
That's